welcome back to another Film Geek movie review spoilers edition. Today, Charming Amy and I are going to be discussing the 2022 film Nope, written and directed by Jordan Peele. So, I've already done my solo non-spoiler review on this film, so if you want to check that out to get my non-spoiler review, ideas and opinions and so on, go ahead and check that one out. If you haven't seen this movie yet, I highly recommend not watching this video until after you see this movie. Don't know a thing about this movie going into it, okay? It's just so much better that way, not knowing what's going on in this film. So, for the love of God, if you haven't seen this movie yet, turn off this video. I can't believe I'm saying that. Turn off this video, go see the movie, and then come back and see if maybe what we're talking about is about right, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Don't spoil this for yourself.
Yeah, no, you want to go in this blind. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so you've got my opinions already you can check out, so let's go ahead and start things off with some quick opinions about this film from you.
I really liked it overall. I really loved the tension and the edge of the seat, kind of feeling that the whole movie gave you, because you're not quite sure what the heck this is. What this thing is. Is
Yeah.
it a UFO? Is it not a UFO? What's going on here? It just seems like it was just like this thing that showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the world is that?
And mostly because the amount of people in the beginning of the film who have seen this thing, it's, you don't even really know if they're telling the truth. It's kind of like, you're like, oh, maybe this is just all in these folks' heads. I mean, they live out in the middle of nowhere. They're constantly looking at this big old cloud-filled empty sky. Maybe they're seeing things. And so it does a good job of putting that in your head in the beginning and then, obviously, ripping it out of your head later on down the road.
The first scene, you're just like, because what happens in one of the first scenes is, Keith David, we'll have to give a shout out to Keith David.
Oh, yeah, Keith David.
But one of the first scenes is that Keith David's character, Otis Sr., is out on a horse, and all of this, like, metal, like, it's like a hailstorm without any hail or clouds. And it's just like things are like poof, 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 poof on the ground.
Yeah, and they give you the first hint, though, with the electricity.
Right, yeah, and the electricity goes out.
Yeah, electricity goes out, and then all of a sudden pieces of metal just start showering.
Pieces of things. Small things are falling from the sky like a hailstorm, and the next thing you know, like something like Keith David's character Otis, like slumps over on his horse and falls off. And come to find out when they get him to the hospital, he's like bleeding, squirting blood everywhere.
Yeah,
it
doesn't make it.
No, he gets to the hospital and passes away, and come to find out there was a nickel in his head that went straight through his eye. And you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, he was just kind of looking up at what's going on, and you kind of hear it, like great sound design also.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's talking about the cinematography and everything else, but the sound design, the use of sound in this film is also something amazing. And he just like slumps over. But real quick though, Keith David.
A side shoot, just real quick.
We wanted to bring this up because I'm not going to say we're close personal friends of Keith David, but we have personally met Keith David. Yes, we were visiting a con, but we met him outside of the con in just a very casual type of way.
Yeah. And
so we were actually down at the head office, our head desk at the hotel we were staying at. And while we were down there, our key card to get into our room wasn't working. It demagnetized or something.
Whatever.
And so we're down there talking to him and all. And so we get our card, we turn around, and there's Keith David, and he just is like, well, how are you guys doing today?
So
and then Charming Amy
froze up because I'm like, oh my God, this is Keith David. and
then I just quote Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just look right at Keith David and go, well, hello there. Like,
we were both a little starstruck, and Keith David's over there just casually trying to have a conversation with us, and we're both like,
we just
oh my God, this is Keith David.
Total small talk with Keith David. Amy's just smiling, and I'm just trying to have some kind of like conversation with him, and he's like, it's a beautiful day out there today. And I'm like, all I'm hearing is that amazing voice. And I'm just like, so did you make it in the thing, Mr. David? What happened there?
And then he was like, oh, you folks have a good day. And
yeah.
Off. We're just like, oh my god, we just talked to Keith
We just had a
David.
total casual conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, the con kind of went like that, but this was the first one, and it was Keith David. I mean, I'm a big fan of his work, so just getting the opportunity to meet him outside of, the con, in real life,
Yeah,
he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a nice person.
Yeah, we just had a nice little, like I said, small talk. He asked me, "Hey, this beautiful day outside." I'm like, "It is definitely a beautiful day outside." He's like, "Are you guys having a good time?" I'm like, "Yes, sir, we certainly are." Because he was actually only there for I think it was the one
Yeah,
day.
Saturday. But anyways, well, we need to get back to.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, back to, I'm sorry, I get off on tangents when I'm talking
Yeah.
about Keith David. So moving on from the beginning of the film, so that's how the things are kind of set up. So we go into really the slowest part of the movie, and that's not an insult. It's just the build.
It's just a lot of buildup. You're sitting here questioning. I see something flying around in the clouds in the sky, and then I see a tornado, and a horse is gone.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I loved how they did things in like the chapters. So each one of the chapters kind of has a horse's name, isn't it? Yeah, each one of the horse's name.
Yeah, it was the horse's name.
Yes.
It was,
Ghost,
Clover,
and
Lucky,
Jean Jacket. Oh, Lucky.
And Jean
Jacket was the final. Yeah. And so each chapter of the story kind of has a different vibe to it. So like Ghost was the beginning of it all, because that was the horse that his father was on when his father died, and they also had a very close connection, Ghost and his father.
Yeah.
And so they go through that, and then so on and so forth. Each one of the horses kind of has a different role in the film.
Right.
And I kind of wonder if the names of the horses play into anything like that.
I don't know.
I'll think about that later. It's just
But
something
anyways,
kind of popped up.
each one of the sections, it builds up to, this thing taking a horse, but it has a whole kind of a building of a whole new discovery phase of what's going on with this thing, UFO creature. We don't know, but until OJ, Daniel Kaluuya's character, just he sits and he thinks about it. After they had a really weird incident with the thing, like vomiting blood all over their house.
It looks like they repainted your house.
Yeah, so that was a scary incident with that thing like hovering over the house, and I do like that same scene where he pulls up and he just went and got he had to sell Lucky, and then he went and got him back after discovering Anyways, so he gets Lucky back, and he's driving in a truck in the trailer with Lucky in the back of it, and all of a sudden he looks over at the house, and like that thing is above the house draining blood all over it, and then all of a sudden that thing moves up over the truck, and it was crazy. It was funny because he slowly opens the door. He's looking up. He's like, nope.
And then that's the thing. You know what?
He locks the door real quick.
This is one of those movies where they say the thing again like several times, but the thing, of course, is nope, which is a completely normal response to 90% of this movie is everybody going, oh, no, no. And that's the correct response to almost every single moment in this movie.
Yeah, it is. It's very appropriately named. But getting back to it, like again, each chapter builds up to some sort of new discovery of what this thing is, but then all of this leads to OJ coming to the realization that this isn't a UFO, it's not a machine, it's a creature. And for the fact that if we all know sometimes like predators, you don't want to look them in the eye, and when they're challenging you, and so they'll move on. And so he discovers that if you don't look at it, it's not going to take you or
you kind of T-Rexes it, I guess.
Yeah. And so that's that's the biggest discovery of the whole thing is that it's not a machine, it's a creature from somewhere.
And that's sorry, go ahead.
And so they figure out they figure out a plan on how to. I don't know,
destroy it, capture it. Well, they were trying to get a photo of it,
get away from it, and get video of it.
Yeah, they were trying to get proof that this exists, so they could get a big check. I mean, because the ranch that they run, they run this. They run a training facility for Hollywood horses, and so that's why the horses and so on and so forth are all involved in this film. And each chapter is named after a horse. They even named the creature in the sky after a horse after a particularly difficult horse that they had to deal with. Jean Jacket. So everything has to do with animals, animal training, and how we kind of, as human beings, interact with animals.
Predators and prey.
Yes, predators and prey was a very big theme in this entire thing. When the predator when the prey decides, you know what, I'm done, basically. And so that's kind of what the movie becomes. And then this is where I brought in the Jaws references. Jaws is one of my all-time favorite horror, thriller, whatever movies. That movie scared the ever-living shit out of me as a kid and was literally one of the things that led to my love of horror movies. Not gonna kill you. Not gonna lie to you. And also led to my absolute fear of the ocean. I am scared to death. I swear to you, I do not even... Putting a toe into the ocean, that's it. That's all I got, man. I don't like that place. I am from the Midwest. I like looking at corn and fields. I don't like looking at endless depths of water with creatures that I don't understand living in.
So anyways, so we have this creature that they've discovered is a creature. And so they gather a plan to, videograph it, they have a documentarian. His name is Antlers.
Mm-hmm.
He's played by
Michael Wincott,
and he's kind of an eccentric person who has it, because electronics don't work around this thing. It
Mm-hmm.
shuts all electronics down. And so he has a manual IMAX camera, and I think he gets the footage of the thing because they leave a trap for it with, those wacky flailing guys, and
yeah, they come up with a whole capture it on camera thing, plan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he gets it on camera on the IMAX film. And then he decides, you know what, I'm going to get the ultimate shot. And so he lures the thing out into the open, and he's filming it, and the thing tornadoes him up into itself and eats him.
The good thing is that this is Michael Wincott, so the whole scene does not come off as stupid and cheesy. It's very well done, because he is top-notch character actor. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was the top-notch bad guy, the big top-of-the-hill bad guy in the movie The Crow. He's done plenty of other things, but that's the most recognizable thing I can think of off the top of my head is The Crow, because I freaking love that movie. And he is phenomenal in this film. And he's the part where I was talking about in my review where he kind of gets a message in there. Yeah. He was part of it because there's the way we treat animals as humans, and then there's also this whole Hollywood, gotta get the best shot. Gotta get the best shot. And what was his intentions? Because at this point in the movie, they know this is a living creature, and he's going to get digested. Now, yes, non-organic things have fallen out of the creature, which you brought up.
Yeah.
But metal is what I was kind of getting at. Metal is the only thing we know for a fact came out.
Right, because there was a wheelchair on top of that.
Yeah, which was a great scene, man. That was the guy from Walking Dead. Stephen Young, he plays this character, which his sub-story is probably one of the most frightening parts of the movie, too.
Yeah.
There's this whole subplot about a TV show from the 90s, the late 90s, with a chimp. And again, this plays into Hollywood and how we deal with animals and blah, 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 blah. But the scene is ridiculously scary.
Yeah, it is weirdly really scary. You're sitting there
oh my
you
gosh.
can't read through it because it's the whole thing about it is that they have a chimp on set, and it's his birthday, and they release these balloons, and then one of the popping sounds sets the chimp off, and he's just goes into a rampage, kills everybody in the studio, except for two people, the young girl, which he mutilates. That's the one in the trailers that was confusing the hell out of people. She didn't have any lips or anything else. She saw her teeth.
Yeah.
She was mutilated by a chimp.
Crazy.
And then he was under a table. And it just had you on the edge of your seat. I'm like, oh my god, is this? And this chimp was bloodied everywhere.
Oh yeah, and it's obvious that his scars were kept on the inside because his character was really odd.
Yeah.
And he had saved relics from that moment, and this was again the message. And I think this dives into the whole I'm just gonna say toxic fandom because this is fucking weird. And the thing is that people paid him to stay overnight in his collection of artifacts from this TV show where a chimp killed several people to the best of our knowledge. They show two deaths. They don't show the girl get mutilated. You find that out you put two and two together later.
Well, there's a lot of blood.
There's a lot of blood and screaming, and it's like I said, it's freaking tense. And it's told kind of through it's all told through flashbacks. It just kind of goes into it every now and then whenever his character is on screen.
But Stephen Young's overall part in the movie was basically He owned like a little like a sideshow place, like a
Yeah,
little,
it looked like
a,
I think they were a rodeo
Right.
originally before all of this happened. They just kind of did horse
but then
tricks and
he
all.
was gonna. But then he made the whole UFO thing into like a thing, a show into his little rodeo place, and then come to find out, it kind of all backfired on him.
It was the alien, well, the alien or whatever, the creature would show up on specific times, and at the time, to the best of his knowledge, all it was going for was horses.
Right.
And so he had like a horse that he was going to release, and then all of a sudden the creature just shows up out of nowhere, unannounced, untimed, and it was kind of going back to really his moment with that chimp.
Yep.
And so everything kind of comes full circle for Mr. Zombie Man.
Yep.
So, like I said, that was that whole thing. Oh my God, the scenery in this film, the way it was shot, everything in Nope is such an extremely solid thing. And really, I don't have anything but praise for this movie. As I said, this was my first A+ film, and I can't go back on how much I love this movie, and I can't even rank. I can't rank his movies. I'm sorry, I can't rank Jordan Peele's movies because I love them all equally. In my opinion, he tackles different kinds of horror or thrillers with every freaking movie he makes, and I love that. It's like watching a really awesome episode of The Twilight Zone, and I know that he did the Twilight Zone TV show, and people have their opinions on that. But his movies are like that. You never know what you're going to get from a Jordan Peele movie,
Right.
and I just hope he sticks with it.
And I had to walk out, and I had to think on it for a day or so, just because I walked out of the theater. I'm like, man, that was really good, but I'm a little disappointed. It was just, I don't know, a weird sky creature,
Kind of a jellyfish kind of thing. When he
weird,
comes to
like
his
a
ultimate
Man of War.
form.
Kind of a sky man of war. I don't know. But
I thought it was
just like,
gorgeous.
I thought it was gorgeous
looking,
scenery
though.
and everything, but I was like, man, that's it. But then I had to stop and think about everything and let it kind of simmer in my head for a little while. I'm like, no, that was really good. That was very good.
I feel like this movie where I think Get Out was pretty straightforward on what it was trying to do there, and then Us was a lot more metaphorical, where you had to sit down and really, like, Us was one of those films that sat with me for a few days, and then I'm like, oh shit. And this movie, what I love about Nope is it's like he's taken the things from both of those films and he's crammed them into this movie. So he's taken all of the positive things from both Get Out and Us, and he's crammed them into Nope, and he's paid an absolutely amazing homage to the creature feature genre of horror and thrillers. It is such a sight to behold. I swear. It's moving art. It really is. Every single shot in this movie is so well planned and so well done. The acting is outstanding. As I brought up, Daniel Kaluuya is outstanding.
He's really good. I mean, for somebody that doesn't talk much, but has amazing, his facial features and his body language kills it.
And I'm just going to say to the namesayers who are saying that it was a boring performance because he doesn't talk a lot, or because he's like, when he sees the creature, he's just like, no. And that's his biggest reaction in the entire movie with this stuff. I know people like this.
Yeah,
I grew up around these guys. I mean, seriously, I did. Ranchers, these dudes who, they've seen a lot of shit in their life. They just really had stuff that we've never freaking imagined. And so something like this is just like, oh, here we go again, man. Here we go.
Yeah.
Just another.
I mean, I'm
here
kind
we
of
go.
a stoic person too, so it's not like I have huge reactions
I
to
have
a lot of
yes.
things. So
This
I
is-
completely get it.
This is very true. She's the same way. I given her a Christmas gift. I put tons of thoughts, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna love it. She's gonna love it. And she opens it up, and she's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm not a
cute.
big reactions person, so I mean, I could see how his reactions aren't big reactions on the outside, but on the inside, he's just freaking the hell out.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, guys who are, I like a good friend of mine's a firefighter, and this is his response to pretty much everything. And then he just runs into it. So,
Yeah.
that's just these kind of folk.
But yeah, our overall thoughts of the movie are very positive.
Oh God, yes, this is a must-see in theaters, guys. Please do yourself a favor. I know it's not always easy to get the babysitter and all of that good stuff, but this is one of those that you owe it to yourself. Get out there, experience it on the big screen. And I'm not even saying the IMAX. Just go to whatever theater. See it on the big screen. See it with the sound system. Like I said before, the sound design is not getting talked about a lot, but it's wow. there's different sounds and everything with the creature and all that. It's really good stuff. So, anyways, guys, hopefully if you're watching this, you did see it. Yeah. But anyways, guys, that's all we have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you could do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know we're gonna.